Warning, 90% of Americans aren't prepared for this, and by the time you realize, it's already too late. Everyone thinks they're ready, until reality hits. Let me ask you something. Look around your house right now. Everything feels normal, right? Lights are on, water's running, the fridge is humming, but what if, tomorrow morning, you wake up, flip the switch, and nothing happens? No power, no internet, no gas, no cell signal, nothing, just dead silence. You check your phone, no messages, no updates, no news. You look outside, and that's when you see it. Chaos. People running, sirens blaring, smoke in the distance, empty streets, grocery stores overrun, ATMs offline, the system is gone. Most folks believe emergencies give them time to react, but here's the truth the government won't tell you. When a real disaster hits, it happens fast. There's no warning, no countdown, just a hard, brutal shift from order to complete collapse. And here's the scariest part, 90% of Americans are completely unprepared. They live under the illusion that help is always coming, but when the power grid fails, when supply chains stop, when law enforcement is overwhelmed, there's no rescue, no cavalry, you're on your own, completely. The average grocery store has 3 days of food. Once panic sets in, shelves are emptied in hours. Water, gone. Gasoline, gone. Medications, gone. The same neighbors you smiled at yesterday could be the same desperate people breaking into your home tomorrow. When people are starving, when they're scared, when their families are crying, the rules of society crumble. And if you think that's fear-mongering, just look at what happened during Hurricane Katrina, the Texas blackout, or the food riots in Venezuela. This isn't science fiction, this is history repeating itself. But here's the brutal truth most men don't want to hear. Your family's survival depends on you, not FEMA, not the police, not the government, you. Right now, while things are calm, you have a choice. Either become the man who's ready, or the man who becomes a victim. There's no middle ground. And trust me, when the lights go out, when the trucks stop rolling, when 911 doesn't answer, it's already too late to start preparing. So let me ask you, do you have water? Real water. Not just a case of bottles, I'm talking 30, 60, 90 days worth. Do you have a way to purify water from rivers, ponds, or gutters if the taps run dry? Because the average person dies in just 3 days without water. And in a collapse, water becomes more valuable than gold. What about food? Sure, you've got some cans of soup, but could you feed your family for 90 days? 120? What happens when the freezers are dead? No refrigeration, no microwaves, no Uber Eats, nothing. Do you know how to cook without power? How to preserve food? How to hunt, fish, or trap if you had to? Or would you be standing in a FEMA line, begging for a stale box of crackers? And then there's security. Let's be honest, when the grid fails, the wolves come out. Looters, criminals, desperate people who didn't prepare, looking for someone who did. If you can't defend what's yours, it won't stay yours. Period. Are your doors reinforced? Do you have motion sensors? Are you trained to defend your home? Do you have the tools and the skill to protect your family when law enforcement isn't coming? Because in every collapse, violence isn't a possibility. It's a guarantee. But it goes deeper than that. When everything collapses, medical help disappears. Think about it. A simple cut could turn into a deadly infection. A broken bone becomes a death sentence. If you don't have the supplies, the knowledge, the ability to handle wounds, infections, burns, or trauma, you're gambling with your life every single day. Shelter, warmth, heat. Most folks don't think about it until it's too late. In the Texas blackout of 2021, people literally froze to death in their own homes, and that was just 3 days without power. Do you know how to heat a room with no electricity? How to build an emergency shelter in your backyard, or in the woods, or even in your living room with the right materials? And mobility? What happens when staying home is no longer an option? Do you have a bug-out plan? Not a fantasy, a real plan, with mapped routes, backup fuel, hidden supply caches, and safe locations? Do you know what vehicle actually works when the roads are jammed or when gas is gone? Hint, it's not what Hollywood shows. Your shelter needs to be adaptable. Can you set up a tent indoors or use thermal blankets effectively? Fire safety is crucial. Do you have fire extinguishers and smoke detectors in place? Mobility also means navigating through debris and staying in touch. Do you have maps and radios ready? Power sources are vital. Solar chargers, hand crank radios, and power banks can be lifesavers. Community coordination can make a difference. Are you and your neighbors prepared to work together? Don't forget about sustenance. Do you have enough food and water stored and know how to purify water? Medical emergencies can arise. Are you trained in basic first aid and have a well-stocked kit? Communication is key. Do you have alternative methods like signal flares or whistles? Regularly review and update your emergency plans and supplies. Stay informed and be prepared. This isn't paranoia, this is reality, and the clock is ticking. Because the world you and I grew up in, the world of endless food, reliable power, clean water, and safe streets, it's more fragile than anyone wants to admit, and when it breaks fast. But here's the good news. You don't have to be a Navy SEAL. You don't have to be a millionaire. You don't need a bunker in the mountains. You just need to start, right now, today, one step at a time. Build your water plan. Stockpile real food. Secure your home. Learn basic medical. Build your bug-out kit. Train your mind. Train your hands. Train your family. Because every step you take now is one less step between you and disaster when it hits. Review your emergency plan regularly. Update your checklist and strategies. Keep learning and stay informed. Confidence comes from preparation. And believe me, it will hit. Whether it's a cyber attack, a natural disaster, an economic collapse, civil unrest, or something far worse, the warning signs are everywhere. Look around. Empty shelves, soaring prices, supply chain failures, power grids on the brink, cities burning, borders overwhelmed, leaders clueless. It's not coming, it's already here. The men who survive, the men who thrive, are the men who took action when everyone else laughed, mocked, and ignored the signs. Don't be the guy who waits until it's on the news. Don't be the guy who says, I should have prepared. Be the man your family counts on. The man who stands between chaos and safety. So ask yourself right now, are you really prepared, or are you just hoping someone else will save you? If this video woke you up, don't just scroll. Hit that like button, share this. Comment I'm getting prepared below if you're ready to take action. And subscribe, because the next video is going to show you the 10 critical items you must have before the next collapse. Stuff you won't find at Walmart. Stuff that disappears in the first 24 hours of every crisis. Don't miss out. Hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to stay informed. Share this video with friends and family. Let's get prepared together. Remember, preparation is key. Stay safe, stay informed.
I've decided an essential survival guide pack comprised of 3 parts. First, you get the short-term survival guide. In survival, there's a basic rule of 3s, which says you can live without air for 3 minutes, water for 3 days, and food for 3 weeks. Many survival experts also say that you can live without critical thinking for about 3 seconds. This means that if you don't have something readily available, panic might set in, and in just 3 seconds, you could lose your life. Live by the rule of 3s, and you'll be one of the ones that makes it through the survival situation without too much discomfort. The worst case scenario faced by those who play it by ear is that soon the provisions and stocks they've made eventually will run out quicker than anticipated. In such a situation, without any way or means to restock your supplies, your survival rate drops like a rock in a single-digit range, leaving the safety of your home to forage for any resources that you may find. Facing possibly contaminated areas, looters, or any other unknown dangers is a scenario that anyone must absolutely avoid. So, just as in any news situation, the more planning you do now, the less worrying and the less stress you'll have during an actual emergency or a true disaster. With the short-term survival guide, you'll learn everything you need to know how to survive from the very beginning. From how to prepare your own 72-hour survival kit with water, food, shelter, medicine, warmth, lighting, power sources, fuel, and tools, to how to secure transportation or how to communicate with others if the telephone lines stop working. Plus, you'll master essential first aid skills and, best of all, how to prepare and plan for unknown threats during crisis escalation. But that's not even the best part yet. The second part of the Essential Survival Guide Pack deals with how to prepare for a full home lockdown. in case of pandemics like the new flu pandemic, for example. Governments urge people to stay indoors in small areas. This is the common sense thing to do. But if you're not fully prepared, soon your home may turn into a deadly prison. In this report, you'll master the ultimate tactics for defending your home in case you'll need to quarantine and isolate yourself for long periods of time. Please take a second and think about this. Is your home really ready to support you through a major crisis? Preparing for the end of the world as we know it has become an increasing concern for many people around the globe. The full home lockdown is a guide for people who have already started preparing for the worst case scenario, but want to do a bit further with home protection. Your home may be protected from a one-time burglary, a break-in, or a minor natural disaster.